welcome to another episode of the Career and Growth series brought to you by Yaka. Today we have an interesting person with us, and I'll let him do the honors of introducing himself.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Mayowa Ayodeji. Happy to be here.
Applause.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Mayowa.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how how you started, building businesses?
How I
Basically,
started building
from
businesses.
engineering to building businesses. How did you go from there?
Okay, so I can't mention that without starting from where I decided that
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be a fully technical person by the time I was out of school.
Hmm.
So I had made up my mind that okay, I had seen traces, I'd seen in my inclinations, my interests, and things I was great at that I was going to be a business and management kind of person,
Hmm.
right? Even if I started off in engineering. So I went ahead in my master's to do engineering business management. And I did it outside the country. I came back to Nigeria, and then the first job I got, I would say, was a catalyst to me building businesses today. Even if that's not the first time, or I had founded something before then, but when you say the time where the entrepreneurship bug bites you, and then you know that okay, it's no turning back from
Yeah.
there. It was while I was working with the first organization I worked with when I came to Nigeria. It was a business lead role, but it was a company where there was a lot of technical research work, technical work going on. But then they needed someone with an engineering background, but yet business thinking, business training that could put structures and in the company and create make it into a business and not just a bunch of engineers doing stuff. So that was like my role there,
Hmm.
and it gave me a lot of freedom where I could create things, I could set up new projects. And it was from there I really, cut my teeth with the okay, building something from scratch, going from 0 to 1. And then I think the first tech business that I ever built was I built it as like an entrepreneur from that
Hmm.
company. And that is currently today still running as a startup, as a company of its own, separate from the parent company. So from there, I branched out and I've been doing a lot of my own, other things instead.
So, how would you say that decision of moving from electronics engineering to the business aspect of it? How did it shape the trajectory of your career path?
It was everything.
Hmm.
Why? Because in the again, from when I decided, it was because I had seen what my leanings were. So imagine I stuck to my guns and I said I wanted to be doing just the technical stuff. Um, I don't know, I'm not God, but I'm not sure I'll be where I am today. Why? Because first of all, look at the country we're in. How many people focus on the technical side of engineering, especially that kind of engineering, and then really are operating, at the way I am right now. Few people end up still becoming maybe entrepreneurs, or then you find a long route to management and all of that. So the virtue of the location of where I studied, and then the fact that I was not a natural,
Hmm.
right? I was not a natural there. I had to go into where I was more of a natural. And that gave me, will I say, lesser friction to success, than sticking your guns at somewhere where you're not natural, you're not enjoying it, you're not going to be the best at it. So there's someone that says something, regardless of whatever you do, right? Um, make sure you are doing something that you have the opportunity to be the best at. You may
Hmm.
not be the best at the time you start, right? But there's an opportunity. And how would you know there's an opportunity for you to be the best at it? Do you have what are your complementary skills? Do you have the interest? Do you enjoy doing that thing? Are you growing at it? So um that that decision sort of changed the trajectory of things. Um and everything has happened between then and now. So yeah, that is this decision to go into the business and management side of things really changed a lot, because I don't think I ever practiced as a technical person any day. I don't think I ever did. I have friends, classmates who did. Some of them doing very well, but I just know that that's not me because there were the signs. There was also the part where at some point in university, I struggled with some of the technical things. Not
Hmm.
that I was a dullard or anything, but like there were some subjects I had to cram before I could pass. Will I be trying? Will I try to? Will I be trying to remember formula? I was an electric pole or something. No, that's just a joke. But yeah,
Well, that's really amazing. So basically, what you're trying to say is that even within the industry that you are, you can find your strongest suit. So you
yeah,
don't necessarily have to stick with exactly what you were taught, but just pick the niche that you like to focus on,
yeah,
the things that come natural to you. That's amazing.
yeah.
All right. So that actually gives us a soft landing to the next question,
Okay.
which is a lot of students, right, are feeling pressured to
Mm.
stick to what they studied in school. What do you have to say to people who pick up interest along the way?
Okay. Um, it's an interesting one, but this is what I'll say. I'll start from here. There's a saying that people will consider cliche. They will say, "A bird in hand is better than a thousand elsewhere." Right? It sounds, you know, cliche and all of that, but cliches are cliches because many a time they are true.
Yeah.
So this, if we were to paint the scenario as maybe someone's experience, now you say someone is currently in school, maybe they're in 200 level or 300 level, they are studying, what we call it, building technology, and then they find a passion that is not exactly building technology. And what do you do with yourself?
Mm.
The first thing I'll tell you is don't kill your passion, and don't throw away what you have either. Now, what do I mean by that? Pursue the passion, do something about it. Oh, maybe it's graphics design you found, maybe it's video editing, maybe it's software engineering or coding, maybe it's you decided that you wanted to start vibe coding. That's fine. Start pursuing it, but don't lose what you already have. You can you can balance it out and pursue it as much as your current reality, your current bandwidth, your current time allows you to. Why? Because um, passions and interest could be fleeting,
Mm.
right? It could be fleeting. You can love something now, and in the next 2 years, you find that it was only for the moment, or you find that it was only to lead you into another thing. Talking about serendipity,
Yeah.
right? So you might find out, oh, I loved Photoshop, but at the end of the day, after a while, you saw that, okay, I like this Photoshop, but I think I prefer After Effects. Now, a whole new career is evolving from graphics to video, and they're totally different things. So imagine you throw away something that is, will I say, a bit more rock solid, especially when you're in this part of the world where education opens a lot more doors for you, right? And you want to throw that away with something that you're just starting out. You're going to just put yourself on the back burner, really. So find a way to pursue it as much as you can, learn from it, but don't throw away what you have. Now, one of the reasons why I would never advise anyone, no matter how well they're doing with the new interest they have, why I would never advise them to throw away or to leave the academia part of things is because there are a lot of transferable traits, skills, and experiences that will determine success, even in that passion that seems to be at variance to what you're studying, that will help you later in life.
Mm.
All right. So I mean, off camera, we're discussing and we're talking about diligence. We're talking about consistency, dependability. No matter the field you're in, even in sports, even in art, those things determine the top 1% in the
Yeah.
world, right? So at the end of the day, it might have come as a side passion and interest, but the things you've learned, the cultures and the things you've imbibed in your academia will help you succeed better at that thing if you eventually pursue it further.
Mm. Hmm. Amazing. So basically, don't let go of the thing that's already working for you just
No,
because you found a
you
new
don't have
interest.
to. Yeah,
Find a way to
balance it.
balance both of them.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So we know that, I mean, from all our discussions, we can already tell that you are someone who is very passionate about young people, and you founded a lot of initiatives, including youth focused one. Can you tell us some of the things that inspired you to, pursue these things very early?
Inspired me. Different things inspired me to do different things. Okay, but I'll I'll start from here. The I come from a family. I come from a very average family, right? Both my parents were civil servants when they were in service. Um, my father was an I'll call him an administrator in a university. My mother was in the um health line, but they were both federal government
Stuff.
employees, right? And but the thing is, my parents always found a way to sacrifice for us to punch above our weight.
Hmm.
So I went to the schools that at the time I went to those schools, you will look at my family and say, why are you doing more than yourself? But I overheard a couple of times my parents say that, especially my mom, say that we are sending you to those places so that you can see what is possible and know that where we are now, it is not all there is to life.
Hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I grew up in Ile-Ife in Osun State, but from secondary school, I never schooled in that environment. I schooled in, Redeemers High School, Redemption Camp. I mean, I schooled at a time where the chief of naval staff of the country, his son was my classmate. I schooled in a time where Minister of Education's son was my classmate.
Hmm.
And I could see, I mean, from their stories and from their lives, I could glean and then from there, I went to Covenant University. It wasn't easy for my parents. I mean, they took loans, they took all these things, but then those exposures, those networks painted pictures of possibilities in my mind. I mean, when someone is just telling you a story of, oh, I was on holiday in London and I saw someone doing this, and you've picked that, wait, it's actually possible to just casually travel. Like it's no more unreal to you again.
Hmm.
So now in that environment, especially in at the university level, I studied at Covenant and I saw a lot of people doing so many great things. So I'm like, why not? Why not? Why not? And even while I was in school, there were already people who were graduates of the school who were entrepreneurs and were doing stuff. For example, Yomi Adedeji of Softcom
Yeah.
is a graduate of Covenant, and at the time I was in Covenant, he did a big project with Covenant, and I knew it was a big money project. So I'm like, yeah, right. It's possible to do big stuff as a young person. Yes, I'll try. So the exposure really was what made me start trying out stuff for myself.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. All right. So I know that in fact everybody can attest to the fact, right, that entrepreneurship is not the easiest thing.
It's hard,
Um
man. It's
so
hard.
how were you able to navigate the challenges that you faced as an entrepreneur?
Which of them? There are plenty. Oh my days. How many hours do we have? I'm joking, but really though, it's the burden of a pioneer. It's the burden of someone who decides that they want to chart their own course. It's the burden of someone who decides that I want to do something for myself. I don't want to just go into somewhere that is already structured, do something, trade a skill for a salary, and that's it. When you want to create something from scratch, it's a different league you're playing in. And the challenges are worlds different. So, how have I navigated that? One of the biggest things you must know is you need to have an anchor. You need to have an anchor, something that fuels you, something outside of that business or that NGO or that project or that thing that you're doing that just keeps you grounded, excuse me, and helps you understand that at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, your life is worth more than that thing
Yeah.
because you will see things that will challenge your life, challenge your sanity. I've woken up in the middle of the night before and I start crying. No
Ew.
jokes. Like, I mean, look at me. I'm looking all
Ew.
prim and pro. I just start crying. Like, who sent me a message, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, especially in Nigeria,
Yeah.
think of what can go wrong. Yes, it will go wrong at some point. I'm not saying it might. It will go wrong.
Hmm.
There's almost no entrepreneur that's gone through, and like you really hustled and built stuff out of nothing in Nigeria that did not have to go through financial crisis where you can barely pay salaries, and you know that other people's lives are depending on you. Or people are not buying your product, and it is if they buy that you will see money. Than then do you get so, or go through regulatory issues, or maybe you're doing a business and then a new policy comes in and wipes out that business. And there are so many challenges. But like, just to answer your question for real, have an anchor. Know that your life is different from that business, or different from that project, or different from that, engagement. If you are not able to separate it, you can lose yourself. There are people who have lost themselves, lost their mind while trying out entrepreneurship. Um, Understand that in as much as it might consume all your thoughts, it might consume everything you do, there's a difference between your life and that business. And don't lose your life because of that business. Have an anchor. My own anchor is Christ, Jesus Christ. My anchor is God. I mean, I cannot do a business without praying to God, like, Alpha, should I go into
Should
this
I
thing
pursue? Should
now?
I
Should I
overtake?
pursue? Should I not? And even when things are wrong, I mean, things have happened in my current business that I went to pray. I'm like, God, you gave me the go ahead. You're the one that told me to do this. You better solve it. I don't know what to do. And it came true. And there are times that it might not even come true at the time you expect, but you have to stay put because you know why you are there in the
Yeah.
first place. So have an anchor, separate your life from the business, ask for help. Ask for help.
Ask for help.
There's nothing you want to go through in this life that somebody else has not seen before.
The end.
Ask for help. Ask for help. You'll be surprised. A few people might tell you no. Don't stop. Look for the person that will tell you yes. Ask for help.
That's just another way of saying make sure that you have someone that is mentoring you, someone that you can look up to. Amazing. We always talk about mentorship, and I feel like every episode I'm always hammering on it because it's something that young people need to hear. All right, so we're going to be moving on to the next question, which is you're passionate about education and helping young people access international opportunities.
Yeah.
Why do you think exposure and global education is important to young people right now?
Two reasons. The first one, I'll start from the home front. I'm pro Nigeria. I love Nigeria, but our education is very bad. It is good, but there's a lot of disadvantage when you look at where the world is going into.
Yeah.
In the world of AI today, how many schools are training their people to be able to adapt for the jobs of tomorrow? And in Nigeria, most of our curriculum is premised on the world that was existing in 1970, 1980. So when I find anybody who has the opportunity to go and study abroad,
Yeah.
I find a way to encourage them not to give up, to make sure they do. And there are many people that, I mean, not even professionally, that I've found a way to review their application, review their reference, just make sure. There are some people that they tell me, and I am up all night looking for scholarship opportunities for them. And it's really because Nigerian education has its place, but there's a lot more you can do with the education you get abroad. And it's not vibes. It's not for the sake of I studied abroad. And that's why you don't even just go abroad to just study anything. But this is how I came to realization of that. I did my master's abroad, but I something as simple as my lecturer wanting me to pass and wanting to ensure that I understood and caring so much about me passing it was a game changer. You don't find that in the average institution here in
Some
Nigeria.
people will tell you that you cannot get an A in their course.
Some people pride themselves in, A is for God, B is for me, C is for you get that kind of a thing, and you're like, bruh, you're being paid to teach me. Why you?
Why am I up?
So the difference was very clear for me. I mean, I got to Coventry University in the UK, and I'm like, school fee be like this. I missed it. So I remember that course, Global Engineering Strategy. That's the name of the course in my first semester. I missed a class. I can't remember what happened. Maybe I wasn't feeling well. And the actual lecturer called me Wait first, you know me? You have my number? And he called me, was like, I just want to check that you're fine. I didn't see you in class.
Wow. Very alien to Nigerian students.
Yo, like it changed everything for me. Like, I just want to check that you're fine. Hope you don't have accommodation issues. Let me know if you have, if I can help you with anything. I'm like,
Is it?
you say what? His next class, I was the first to get it.
Of
What do you
course.
mean? And he called me genuinely. Just he wasn't calling to like maybe threaten me or anything. Like, if you don't come to class. No, he really wanted to know what's going on. Like, bros, I just sick. When I sick, I sick, not be anything. Do you get? And it changed a lot for me. Then looking at our Lanchester library, then it was open 247, and it was only closed 3 days out of 365 a year. So I can wake up at 2 a.m. and I can't sleep. And if I'm close enough to the library, I can walk in there and access any resource I want and just read. And it was free. And I was encouraged to do that. Do you get? So? And then you now find that you're dealing with lecturers. I mean, one of my lecturers had spent over 20 years working on jet engines. And this person was supposed to teach me management of quality. How will I not know it? Do you get? So the quality of education is higher, the exposure is higher. You see that, on a different level, like the possibilities are even, much better. So I always encourage anyone who can study abroad, and don't just do it mindlessly. Don't go and pick one course in one school that is just getting up.
Yeah.
It's not all the schools that are like this abroad as well. There are some too that do you get? So that's the first reason. And what was going to be the second reason? I think I already mixed both of them up. But
Pretty
really
much.
though, get the education is better, the exposure is better, and if you look at where the world is going to today, it's an increasingly global world. You want to be thinking like the people you'll be competing with in the market, in the next 1 2 3 years. I mean, I had to do projects with people from China, Tanzania, Saudi Arabia, France, and seeing how all these people are thinking about problems made me look like, come on,
You have a long way
work
to
deal.
go.
Do you get that kind of a thing? So yeah, I mean, that's why I will always encourage people to.
That's amazing. So even from like this question that you just answered, it kind of like once again gives us a soft landing to the next question. I mean, you already talked about how Nigerian education is lagging behind,
Yeah, it is.
and we know that the situation of Nigeria right now, a lot of young people can attest to the fact that Nigeria, we thank God for Nigeria. But you still believe that Nigeria can be great. What is it that
Absolutely.
fuels this optimism?
Hey. The reason I shouted is because everybody who is optimistic or who believes or who is a patriot or who is a nationalist or something that is a Nigerian gets challenged every day to drop that thing. Wake up and smell the coffee. Right. But if you're still an optimist at this point, 2026 in Nigeria, is because you choose to be. It's not because of circumstance. Yes. You choose to be. You, you can't you can't use your experience or reality, except you're in a bubble, to be very optimistic about Nigeria.
Yeah.
So you really choose to be. So what makes me optimistic? First, I chose to be. And secondly, take it from someone who has studied and lived abroad. A lot of people might not agree, but there's truly no place like home.
In
There's
what
truly no.
regard?
I'll tell you. If Nigeria works and we have a great society that works for everyone or almost everyone, your life will be several times better living here than being abroad.
Yeah, true. If Nigeria works.
I mean, yes, that's the requirement. But let me tell you why. You cannot remove the way certain people abroad will always look at you as a second class citizen. You cannot. The only place where you will not be, at least in that sense, regarded as a second class citizen is in your home country. Obama was the president of the United States for 8 years. And many of the people that he presided over still don't consider him an equal to them. Talk more of why? Because of his skin color, because you can trace his roots to Africa and stuff like that. And yes, don't get me started with the racist experiences that I had myself. I mean, I was in a very the town I lived in, or the towns I lived in at different times in the UK were very diverse. But I had my fair share of racism. I've had a white lady spit on me before,
Check it God.
and I was there to help her with something, not as a subordinate. In fact, as a superior. And she spat at me. I was walking home from no, I was going to the library, not I was coming home. I was going to the library one night, and I see a car drive past me, and they're chanting and making monkey chants at me. Yes. I was with a friend of mine who went in for a job interview.
Yeah.
And so he had done so well. He was supposed to be promoted, and then he was supposed to. So they were supposed to assign himself or one or two other of his colleagues to a certain project. And they didn't know he was listening to them. And the reason he didn't get that role was because the superior he was supposed to work with, who happens to be a Caucasian, said, I can't pronounce his name.
What?
Yes. And he lost the opportunity. It's not something that I heard it happen to someone. I know the person it happened to. So, like, I can keep going on and on about things like this. And to be honest, there are lesser chances that if you're at home, you experience these things. Could be demeaning. It could be, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Amazing. That's good. Those experiences were truly, I will not say unique, but I feel like it's something that's not really talked about a lot of times when people go outside the country and come back.
Yeah, I mean, because everybody's in survival mode.
True.
Right? So, well, in survival mode, everybody good, oh, go to Canada, go to, build something for yourself. You can be successful enough to isolate yourself to an extent, but you cannot completely isolate yourself.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is a very successful doctor. In fact, he has a British passport now. He's British. But I know some of the things he faced as a doctor in the UK that, I mean, that he literally had to toe the line to fight not to lose his job over silly patients who just wanted to accuse him of things that, when it comes to their word against his, while he is the same person who is the doctor, they will still not believe him. Right? So, yeah, you can isolate yourself to a certain level, but
you cannot totally eradicate it.
Totally eradicate it.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. So, if you could go back to secondary school and speak to your younger self, what are the things that you'll tell your younger self about, life decisions and career choices?
Question.
Yes.
Will I have the knowledge I already have now?
Yes.
Because if I do, yes, there are things that will change. In as much as I love my journey, there are things that will change. Or there are things I will advise my younger self. I'll have started coding much earlier. Yeah. I'll have gone into software engineering much earlier and maybe leapfrogged a lot of things. In as much as I'm very much pro education and I love my story is a different thing, but I would have pushed myself to finish with a better result. I think some things would have been easier for me.
Yeah.
Because there's some things that I had to fight to get because of I finished with a second class lower. Right? So some things were naturally harder for me. I lost a fully funded PhD scholarship to Nottingham Trent University because my CGPA was 0.1 or 0.01 less than the cutoff, despite having finished with a great result in my master's. So they went back to my undergrad, checked my CGPA, and I missed it by 1 unit. And I lost that opportunity. I already had a supervisor before they checked and said, nah, bro. So like, yeah, there are if I look back, a lot of other things in my life wouldn't have happened. I mean, if I stayed back at the time or if I went at the time, maybe I would have married the lovely woman I'm married to now.
Wow.
Maybe I wouldn't even have been in the church that I currently am in now,
Yeah.
because it was when I came back I now joined, you know, the church. But then there are important opportunities I missed because of just tiny misses. So I think I would have pushed myself to finish with a better result.
Yeah.
I tried, but there were some mistakes I made that made it more difficult. I wouldn't have made them. And then yes, I'll have gotten into tech much earlier.
Much earlier.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, so we are coming to the last question for the day, which
Okay.
is for students watching this who are trying to discover their path. What is one mindset or principle that you like them to carry with them?
One.
Hmm.
Can I do three? I'm joking. I'm joking. So they're trying to find their path.
Yeah.
They are in school,
Mm-hmm.
um, secondary or university or any of both.
Secondary, university, or maybe fresh out of school.
To be honest, I'll say this: try a lot of things. Try a lot of things. Don't limit yourself. Don't say, "Oh, graphic design is not for me." Try it. Then, if you're tired, you drop it ahead. Nobody will beat you. Try it. Try a lot of things. Try the time you have as much. Let me put it like this: when we're in school, a lot of people thought, "Oh, there's no time. This is the most difficult stage of your life." It's a lie. Have you tried adulting? See, have you tried to parent and pay light bills and nah, bro. You're not in the most difficult phase of your life. It looks and it feels like it, but it's not. You can still try many things.
Yeah.
So try many things. So that the mentality or the principle is be explorative. The Bible says it is good to bear the yoke in your youth, right? It means that when you're young, you have literally the physical and emotional strength. I consider it strength to try so many things, and the risk of failure will not be catastrophic for you. But if you're in your early 30s and going towards 40, you cannot be trying new things at that time as much as if you were in your late teens and early 20s.
Yeah.
If you try and fail there, nobody cares. If you
Because
fail
you're
at
still
40,
still
bro, do you get? So be very explorative, try new things. Even if you say, "Oh, I love this thing now," okay, start doing it. Try something else too. You might love it better. You might find a hybrid and become exceptional or become unique. So try a lot of things. Um, Try and start thinking about purpose. Now, what I mean by that is, what is that one thing that is driving you? And I'm not talking about purpose from the Christian perspective now. I'm talking about purpose, let me say mission, your life's mission, right? In sense that what is that one thing that you know that you have to accomplish? What is that? For me, I might not be running my international education business anymore now, but I'm still going to do a lot of things in education. And it's almost like a life mission for me that people get as great opportunities as they can,
Yeah.
right? So explore a lot of things, start thinking about your life's mission, start exploring it. And now, you see those people you think are over sabi in your class, they may not even know it, but they are racking up experience points that will count well for them, probably better than you in the next future. So you might as well join them to be over sabi. And who are the people I'm talking about over sabi? The people that will join the social club,
Yeah.
join an NGO, join a project, do something a bit extra. Yes, go ahead and do it. Nothing stops you. You don't have to be the best in your class to do it. Just try and do those things. They rack up. Go for internships, unpaid ones, paid ones, anyone. Learn as much as you can, experience as much as you can. And at some point, all these things will crystallize for you in your journey.
All right, so I know that you do a lot of you've had a lot of tech initiatives, and
Okay.
your newest one, which is I feel like this is your newest baby,
Ah,
is called
almost
Film.
1 year old baby. Yeah,
Well, it's called Filmport.
film
So
pot.
can
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit about Filmport? What is it about, and what do you think it can do for the Nigerian movie industry?
Okay, so film pot. I need to explain this in a very simple way.
Yeah.
Right now in the Nigerian film industry, the the most common way to show your film to the world after you've produced it is to go to the cinemas or put it on YouTube or try to sell the rights to Netflix or Amazon Prime or all these other guys. But all these methods of distribution have a lot of challenges that filmmakers face. So challenges like unfair revenue splits. So if you use 100 million naira to make a film and you gross 200 million in the cinemas, you might think, I spent 100 million to make it and I made 200 million. That's 100 million profit. That's great, right? But today, you'll still be at a loss. Why? Because filmmakers take home less than 30% of the gross that they earn at the cinemas,
Hmm.
right? And then there is the issue of they don't own their audience. They don't own their audiences. So if 20,000 people go to the cinemas to watch your film, after your film has left the cinemas, there is no way to reach and learn from those 20,000 people anymore. You've lost them because they are not your audience.
Yeah.
And even if you have your film on Netflix, Netflix will not show you the data. They won't give you the data. And even if you're on YouTube, right? YouTube will YouTube owns the audience. You might see YouTube comments. You might see some high level aggregated data, but you cannot build those people into a community where maybe you drop them an email next to say, thank you for watching this film. What is your honest feedback? What would you like to see in the next film? Or let them know that a new project is coming.
Coming
I
up.
need you to get behind me. Why? They are your audience, but you can't really engage them in that way. Another problem is on YouTube, we know time and again the piracy problems, right? Someone can literally lift your film and re-upload it in a different way and make money off it, and
Hmm.
then everybody's crying, and then they're dragging themselves to court and blah blah blah. The whole thing happening over and again, right? And let's not get talking about how much Nigerian creators don't earn from YouTube. People actually think they earn a lot, but ask them, I don't want to mention names or quote numbers, but even that popular person you're thinking made tens of millions of views on a particular culturally shifting movie. um Ask the person how much they made over the last 12 films they did on YouTube, and if they tell you the real numbers, you understand that they probably were profitable in just one or two films out
Hmm.
of 12 tries. So I said all of that to say we built a solution to this where filmmakers can set up their own cinemas online, set ticket prices, allow anybody anywhere in the world to pay them to watch their
Their audience,
films.
yes.
They own the audience, they have access to their data, they control the flow of money, and the revenue share is fairer,
Hmm.
right? Now, what does that do for the film viewer? It means your filmmaker, when they release a film, you are not limited by the geographical location they are in to watch it. For example, um, you release a film today and it's in the physical cinemas. There's only so much physical cinemas it can be in.
Yeah.
If you're living in the UK, for example, you can't watch Pastor Lajuriren's film that is currently in the physical cinemas
Yeah.
right now because you are not here physically.
Even people within the same state
Even
self.
people within the same state don't have that much time or that much luxury. Meanwhile, if no, anyways, then if you say maybe put it on Netflix, if Netflix accepts your film, Netflix determines who watches it.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of limitations around it. So you can, with Filmport, host your film, ticket it, determine how much you want to charge for it,
Yeah.
have anybody anywhere in the world have access to the link to watch it and all of that. So it solves a distribution, a commerce problem for filmmakers, right? And
Accessibility problem even
accessibility.
for
The best
viewers.
way we can explain it without all this technical jargon is it is literally the seller for films.
Hmm.
If you're talking about the Nigerian audience,
Yeah.
or it is the Shopify for films, or the bumper for films. That's what film pod is all about.
I mean, that's an amazing initiative, especially for someone like me who loves movies. Wow, I've really
You're
learned
welcome.
a lot from this session, and
I did you did you
I,
know, the
yeah,
wine?
I did, I'm not whining, sir. So I know that we said that that was the last question, but we have a very interesting twist, and we have
You did
two
not tell me the twist. So did you
unscripted
unscripted?
questions.
Gay. All right.
Okay, so for this part, we need props. Woo! Drum rolls
Okay.
again. So you use a yes or a no, depending on what your answer is for the
Okay.
question.
So which one am I showing the camera? This or this?
The yes and the no. So,
Okay. Yes.
so
No, yes, no.
have you ever lied about where you were going? Where did you actually go? Have you, first of all, have you ever lied about wherever you were going to your parents?
To my parents.
Yes.
Have I lied about where I was going?
Yes. Where did you actually go? Give us a scenario.
Scenario.
Yes.
Ha. When my daddy watched this. I'm joking. It's not that deep, but yeah. Let me think about the scenarios. I mean, there will have been different ones.
Yeah.
So, why do I say that? Yes, I was the typical
Rebellious.
Nigerian. I wasn't that rebellious. I wasn't that bad. No, I was just like very active, and all of that. So I love to play football a
That's a
lot.
fancy way of saying rebellious.
So I love to play football. So I mean, and I know that sometimes that they don't want me to play and I want to play, and I say I want to go and greet someone. But technically though, was it a lie? Because I will still see the person.
And you get
But the main purpose was the ball that I wanted to play. So I mean, yes, that's an example.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I grew up in Ilefe, and we lived in somewhere called the staff quarters.
Okay.
Right. It was a very controlled, very serene environment. There were a lot of football fields. I had friends play football.
Yeah.
So I could say I'm going to see someone, but the truth is, the actual truth is I want to play football. While I may see the person, I may not see the person on the way to the place. Right. But and I truly mean it like that. There were times that maybe the person I tell them I want to see is actually playing football with me.
And you see the person.
The real reason is the ball. No lie.
All right. So we're moving on to the next question. So have you ever eaten someone else's food secretly?
Do my siblings count?
Yes.
Yes.
What happened when they found out that you ate their food?
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I come from a family that I have two siblings.
Okay.
Right. So I have an elder sister, I have a younger brother. Right. So I mean, those things are bound to happen, really.
Well.
Yeah, and now that I'm married, I've done it to my wife a lot. Babe,
Wow.
I'm sorry. There are sometimes that she even tell me that this one is for me, but like I wake up in the night. Me, I'm more of the night crawler than she is. And I'm like,
This food is looking
I
really
chop
nice.
no less. But part of maturing in marriage is now learning to actually not take those small things for granted. So I think I've kind of stopped. There was a time I did that a lot.
Wow. I've had such an amazing time on
Same
this set. Thank you so much for honoring our invite. And I'm very sure even our viewers have enjoyed it as well.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you.
All right, guys, we've come to the end of today's episode. Do not forget that this is not the last episode. We have more coming up. So do not forget to like this video, comment under it, share with a couple of people, share with your friends, your brother, your sister, everybody, even your enemies.
And those WhatsApp groups that they used to send you relevant
just copy this link and bombard them. All right, guys, do not forget to subscribe, because if you do not subscribe, you will not know that we have posted another episode. You don't want to miss out on this goodness. All right, so bye, guys.